Good morning. Getting ready to podcast this morning, do some recordings. I give this advice to my patients and I really needed to take it myself. Like, don't start your day reactionary. Start it very proactive. Get up, go pee, go to your exercise mat, do your exercises. Do not get up, get dressed, go downstairs, scroll for a few minutes before you go to the gym, which is exactly what I did this morning. And I got to stop reading DMs because then I just get all fired up and like irritated. The two that popped up this morning, one was something I had commented on yesterday where there was a guy who was like a podcast host on a decent sized platform interviewing a male researcher. And the clip that they showed was basically the male researcher highlighting the disparities and the gaps in women's health research. And my comment was basically like, yeah, I think my middle schooler would call this ick. Like, of all the women researchers out there looking at all the gaps in women's health research, you picked a dude. So I commented, and they commented back. I'm like, okay, great. And instead of saying, hey, you know what? You're right. My bad. This doesn't look great. We understand. It's almost like they doubled down and they're like, no, listen to the clip, listen to the podcast. Like they're highlighting you guys and like the gaps in women's healthcare. Almost like I should thank them as a, see how I get fired up in the morning. I should thank them for being so kind as to use their larger platform to highlight the gaps and disparities in women's healthcare. Like, thank you for acknowledging my lived experience and 26 years in women's health. Like, come on. It's not hard to find us. We've been having this conversation. It's not hard to, like, I can literally rattle off 25 female researchers in the women's health space in probably the next 20 seconds. And it's a new conversation if you're just going after it because that's what's popular right now. It is not new for us. That this has literally been our careers. This is our, like, why not ask a woman researcher who, I don't know, this is also her lived experience and her field of expertise, to comment on gaps and disparities in women's health. Like, okay. So that one aside, then I clicked on a DM and it was a friend forwarded me something. And it was something, it was like somebody walking through a shoe store, like a running shoe store, saying how bad running shoes are for your pelvic floor. And I literally just talked about this. Like, it's disgusting because this was a wave in pelvic health about probably 12 to 15 years ago. And it was a wave in running world, like aside from pelvic health, like talking about like barefoot shoes and things like that, like around the time that Born to Run came out. So it was like 2009. So probably this person who posted this, she probably was still in like elementary or high school. That's totally fine. I'm happy to get you caught up. Like, but again, we have no data that says that running in barefoot shoes is what it even does for your pelvic floor. Like, we don't know. We don't have that information. And so putting that out there, and this is where I will give her creative props for saying that running in like high stack shoes are like running in foot coffins. And I was like, okay, I give you props for that. Like, very, like, I got my attention. But her whole thing was like, you've got to run in barefoot shoes and wide toe boxes, blah, blah, blah. This is my new pair of Brooks Glycerin. Granted, I did get I think these are the 21s, but I did buy the 22s ahead of the tariffs. And I have a neuroma. And I need a wide foot box. So I also am 49, almost 49 years old, and I have some other reasons that I need a little bit more cushion. And I also like a decent heel drop because of Achilles issues, all sorts of things. I also walk around in bare feet. I'm in bare feet now. I lift in Nobles that are like pretty flat shoes. Like, we don't have to be in one shoe, but like somebody who probably doesn't run going around saying, don't run in these foot coffins. They're dangerous for your pelvic floor. I'm like, come on. it's almost embarrassing because, again, we went through this in pelvic floor land, 10, 15 years ago. We went through this in running land, back in the late 2000s. Like, this is like, it's kind of like mom jeans and wide leg jeans and like old fads from the past that like we can't come up with something new, so we just recycle these old things that have been beaten to death and we don't have the data yet. And the fact of the matter, in orthopedic literature and in sports literature and in running literature, what we have right now is the best shoe to be in is the one that feels the best. And guess what? This feels the best for me to run in, and I'm starting to work in this and see how it feels. And the best one for me to walk around my house in is barefoot. And, we don't need to, there's not this one perfect shoe that's for everybody. So anyway, back to my original premise about how you should not wake up and be reactionary because you get all fired up about these things. But it's a side conversation that I've been having with some colleagues about, there's a lot of misinformation that's out there. And we need more critical thinking. And it's really scary if people put things out there and they resonate and people don't dive deeper to find out, actually, no, we don't have data to support that. Or, you know what, that might work for somebody else, but not for you. And even AI, and I've spent a decent amount of time playing around with ChatGPT, like you have to be really careful about proofreading sources and things like that. Because again, where is it pulling from? It's pulling from blog posts, it's pulling from the internet. And so when you have a data set like the internet that you're pulling from that has inaccurate information, that's what ChatGPT is going to pull from. So yeah, that all goes to say, don't start your day reactionary. I love my foot coffin and it ain't killing my pelvic floor. And if you're going to have a conversation about the gaps in women's health research, and you're a dude, please talk to a woman first. Not hard. There's plenty of us. Anyway, tell me your thoughts. Like, what kind of stuff are you seeing out there that we need to kind of myth bust a little bit? Love to know.